Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Bible in a Year. My name is Natalie, and today we are on day 251. I am so happy that you're here today, and I hope your day is going fantastic. We are going to be reading out of 2 Samuel chapter 13, Ezekiel chapter 7, Mark chapter 7, but only verses 24 through 37. And then we're going to close out the day with Psalm 121. So let's get started with 2 Samuel chapter 13. All right, so after this, Absalom, the son of David, had a beautiful sister whose name was Tamar. And Amnon, the son of David, loved her. Amnon was so troubled that he became sick because of his sister Tamar, for she was a virgin, and it seemed hard to Amnon to do anything to her. But Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, and Jonadab was a very subtle man. He said to him, "Why, son of the king, are you so sad from day to day? Won't you tell me?" And Amnon said to him, "I love Tamar, my brother Absalom's sister." Jonadab said to him, "Lay down on your bed and pretend to be sick. When your father comes to see you, tell him, 'Please let my sister Tamar come and give me bread to eat, and prepare the food in my sight, that I may see it and eat it from her hand.'" So Amnon laid down and faked being sick. When the king came to see him, Amnon said to the king, "Please let my sister Tamar come and make me a couple of cakes in my sight, that I may eat from her hand." And then David sent home to Tamar, saying, "Go now to your brother Amnon's house and prepare food for him." So Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was lying down. She took dough, kneaded it, made cakes in his sight, and baked the cakes. She took the pan and poured them out before him, but he refused to eat. And Amnon said, "Have all men leave me." Then every man went out from him. And Amnon said to Tamar, "Bring the food into the room, that I may eat from your hand." And Tamar took the cakes which she had made, and brought them into the room to Amnon her brother. When she had brought them near to him to eat, he took hold of her and said to her, "Come lie with me, my sister." And she answered him, "No, my brother, do not force me, for no such thing ought to be done in Israel. Don't you do this folly. As for me, where do I carry my shame? And as for you, you will be as one of the fools in Israel. Now therefore, please speak to the king, for he will not withhold me from you." However, he would not listen to her voice, but being stronger than she, he forced her and lay with her. Then Amnon hated her with exceedingly great hatred, for the hatred with which he hated her was greater than the love with which he had loved her. Amnon said to her, "Arise, be gone." And she said to him, "Not so, because this great wrong in sending me away is worse than the other that you did to me." But he would not listen to her. And then he called his servants, who ministered to him, and said, "Now put this woman out from me, and bolt the door after her." She had a garment of various colors on her, for the king's daughters, who were virgins, dressed in such robes. And then his servant brought her out and bolted the door after her. Tamar put ashes on her head and tore her garment of various colors that was on her. And she laid her hand on her head and went her way, crying aloud as she went. Absalom, her brother, said to her, "Has Amnon your brother been with you? But now hold your peace, my sister. He is your brother. Don't take this thing to heart." So Tamar remained desolate in her brother Absalom's house. But when King David heard of all these things, he was very angry. Absalom spoke to excuse me. This is upsetting. Starting at verse 22. Absalom spoke to Amnon, neither good nor bad, for Absalom hated Amnon, because he had forced his sister Tamar. After 2 full years, Absalom had sheep shearers in Baalhazor, which is beside Ephraim, and Absalom invited all the king's sons. Absalom came to the king and said, "See now, your servant has sheep shearers. Please let the king and the servants go with your servant." The king said to Absalom, "No, my son, let's not all go, lest we be burdensome to you." He pressed him, however. He would not go, but blessed him. Then Absalom said, "If not, please let my brother Amnon go with us." And the king said to him, "Why should he go with you?" But Absalom pressed him, and he let Amnon and all the king's sons go with him. Absalom commanded his servants, saying, "Mark now when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I tell you, strike Amnon, and then kill him. Don't be afraid. Haven't I commanded you? Be courageous and be valiant." The servants of Absalom did to Amnon as Absalom had commanded. Then all the king's sons arose, and every man got up on his mule and fled. While they were on their way, the news came to David, saying, "Absalom has slain all the king's sons, and there is not one of them left." Then the king arose and tore his garments, and lay on the earth, and all his servants stood by with their clothes torn. Jonadab, the son of Shemaiah, David's brother, answered, "Don't let my lord suppose that they have killed all the young men, the king's sons, for Amnon only is dead. For by the appointment of Absalom, this has been determined from the day that he forced his sister Tamar. Now therefore, don't let my lord the king take the thing to his heart, to think that all the king's sons are dead, for only Amnon is dead." But Absalom fled. The young man who kept the watch lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, many people were coming by way of the hillside behind him. Jonadab said to the king, "Behold, the king's sons are coming. It is your servant." Let me start that over. Verse 36. Jonadab said to the king, "Behold, the king's sons are coming. It is your servant said." As soon as he had finished speaking, behold, the king's sons came and lifted up their voices and wept. The king also and all his servants wept bitterly. But Absalom fled and went to Talmai, the son of Ammihur, king of Geshur. David mourned for his son every day. So Absalom fled and went to Geshur, and was there for 3 years. King David longed to go out to Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon, since he was dead. I have thoughts, but I am just going to keep these ones to myself. And everybody said, "Yay!" All right. Ezekiel chapter 7. Okay. Moreover, Yahweh's word came to me, saying, "You son of man, the Lord Yahweh says to the land of Israel, an end. The end has come on the 4 corners of the land. Now the end is on you, and I will send my anger against you, and will judge you according to your ways. I will bring on you all your abominations. My eye will not spare you. Neither will I have pity, but I will bring your ways on you, and your abominations will be among you. Then you will know that I am Yahweh. The Lord Yahweh says, a disaster, a unique disaster. Behold, it comes. An end has come. The end has come. It awakens against you. Behold, it comes. Your doom has come to you, inhabitant of the land. The time has come. The day is near, a day of tumult and not of joyful shouting on the mountains. Now I will shortly pour out my wrath on you, and accomplish my anger against you, and will judge you according to your ways. I will bring on you all your abominations. My eye won't spare, neither will I have pity. I will punish you according to your ways. Your abominations will be among you, and then you will know that I, Yahweh, strike. Behold the day. Behold, it comes. Your doom has gone out. The rod has blossomed. Pride has budded. Violence has risen up into a rod of wickedness. None of them will remain, nor of their multitude, nor of their wealth. There will be nothing of value among them. The time has come. The day draws near. Don't let the buyer rejoice, nor the seller mourn, for wrath is on all its multitude. For the seller won't return to that which is sold, although they are still alive, for the vision concerns the whole multitude of it. None will return. None will strengthen himself in the iniquity of his life. They have blown the trumpet and have made all ready, but no one goes to the battle, for my wrath is on all its multitude. The sword is outside, and the pestilence and the famine within. He who is in the field will die by the sword, and he who is in the city will be devoured by famine and pestilence. But of those who escape, they will escape, and will be on the mountains like doves of the valleys, all of them moaning, everyone in his iniquity. All hands will be feeble, and all knees will be as weak as water. They will also clothe themselves with sackcloth, and horror will cover them. Shame will be on all faces, and baldness on all their heads. They will cast their silver in the streets, and their gold will be as an unclean thing. Their silver and their gold won't be able to deliver them in the day of Yahweh's wrath. They won't satisfy their souls or fill their bellies, because it has been the stumbling block of their iniquity. As for the beauty of its ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the image of their abomination and their detestable things therein. Therefore I have made it to them as an unclean thing. I will give it into the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a plunder, and they will profane it. I will also turn my face from them, and they will profane my secret place. Robbers will enter into it and profane it. Make chains, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Therefore I will bring the worst of the nations, and they will possess their houses. I will also make the pride of the strong to cease. Their holy places will be profaned. Destruction comes. They will seek peace, and there will be none. Mischief will come on mischief, and rumor will be on rumor. They will seek a vision of the prophet, but the law will perish from their priests, and counsel from the elders. The king will mourn, and the prince will be clothed with desolation. The hands of the people of the land will be troubled. I will do to them after their way, and according to their own judgments I will judge them, and they will know that I am Yahweh. All right, moving into Mark chapter 7, verses 24 through 37. I am so thankful for Mark. It's been heavy. Okay. From there, Jesus arose and went away into the borders of Tyre and Sidon. He entered into a house and didn't want anyone to know it, but he couldn't escape notice. For a woman whose little daughter had an unclean spirit, having heard him, came and fell down at his feet. Now the woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician. That's not it. A Cypher. Okay, let's do it this way. We're going to break it up. We're going to talk about this woman who was a Greek. She was a Syrophoenician by race, and she begged him that he would cast the demon out of her daughter. But Jesus said to her, "Let the children be filled first, for it is not appropriate to take the children's bread and throw it to the dogs." But she answered him, "Yes, Lord, yet even the dogs under the table eat the children's crumbs." He said to her, "For this saying, go your way. The demon has gone out of your daughter." She went away to her house and found the child having been laid on the bed, with the demon gone out. Again he departed from the borders of Tyre and Sidon, and came to the Sea of Galilee through the middle of the region of Decapolis. They brought to him one who was deaf and had an impediment in his speech. They begged him to lay his hand on him. He took him aside from the multitude privately and put his fingers into his ears, and he spat and touched his tongue. Looking up into the heavens, he sighed and said to him, "Ephphatha," that is, "be opened." Immediately his ears were opened, and the impediment of his tongue was released, and he spoke clearly. He commanded them that he should tell no one. But the more he commanded them, so much the more widely they proclaimed it. They were astonished beyond measure, saying, "He has done all things well. He makes even the deaf hear and the mute speak." Yes, he did. How could you not? I mean, I get what he's saying. It is always God's timing. Jesus is moving through this earth as Emmanuel. He is God with us. He is God in human skin. And it is always his timing. And he's telling everybody, "Shh, not yet, not yet. I'll do this, but be quiet." Really, honestly, that is a high bar. And with a little humor there, I think God would have known that that is something, there's no way we could have handled that one. Out of all the things we couldn't handle, keep our mouths shut about this amazing miracle? Really? Come on. I don't think I could have been quiet. Really, truly. If Jesus would have said, "Hey, Natalie, I know you saw this," or, "Hey, Natalie, I know I healed you, but you can't say, don't tell anybody." How? All right, Psalm chapter 121. Let's close the day out. And this is another psalm of ascents. "I will lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from Yahweh, who made heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot to be moved. He who keeps you will not slumber. Behold, he who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is your keeper. Yahweh is your shade on your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh will keep you from all evil, and he will keep your soul. Yahweh will keep your going out and your coming in from this time forward and forevermore. Yahweh is your keeper. He wants you. He wants us all. Over and over and over, every single day, we read the same thing. He wants us. We need to get our eyes back on him. So, come on back for tomorrow. Let's do it again tomorrow. It'll be day 252. Have the most fantastic day today, and I will see you then. Bye.